independent candidate, people's candidate of choice. Those of you listening on the World Wide Web, nationals and non-nationals, demonstrations and around the world. This morning, I was listening to Herman Cupid Francis, and I think it's Terrence Graves. He said there that PIU was closed by Donaldson Romeo, which is incorrect. So I had to make some adjustments to address this matter. In relation to the closing of PIU, I have in my possession a document, 2012, wouldn't call the date, wouldn't call the month, it's 2012, where a lady had went to Bank of Montserrat to borrow a loan to build a two-bedroom house. It was 120,000 she wanted to borrow. But because of her age, they told her that she was not qualified. However, I think she said the bank contacted the then Minister of Housing, Mr. Easton Taylor Farrell, who spoke to her and then instructed her to go to PIU. That time, Mr. Owen Lewis was in charge of the manager for PIU. Now, in May 2012, the lady went into agreement with PIU, signed that agreement to build the property, to build the house for her. So she was looking 120 from the bank to build the house, which was enough. But somewhere along the line now, the bank gave her 156,000. Well, this is very troubling because if she was not qualified for 120, how is it possible for her to be qualified to get a loan for 156,000? Now, the trick that they work on the lady, it was a trick. They told her to get the money. Now she got the money, but the money has to go to be distributed in stages. What PIU did not told her that they were going to subcontract the house to be built by a contractor. They put out a tender for $111,000, and someone took up the contract to build the house for $111,000. No, she was not qualified for 120, but here it is. They got the money for 156, and the lady, they put up the offer, and a contractor did the house for 111,000. Now PIU take the down payments every different stage. They take a down payment, so they end up with $45,000. Now this is what I said, that these I would say illegal activities should have been investigated. And it was so wrong for what they did to this lady. The lady came and cried to me, so I start going around and gathering intelligence as I usually do. As you can see, these are the documents that I have here. I'll show you the documents. There's a lot of documents from since 2012 I have them. And the lady was crying now. She said, I have to pay back the 111,000 that they built the house for plus the 45,000. So I told her, well, if you give me the documents, I'm going to go to the governor or DFID and get this matter, these boys closed down. So I went around and picked up several documents from several ladies. Because what they usually do in PIU, they target women. That's what they did in Montserrat back in the day. They target women because once they take their money, they know the woman won't challenge them. So I went to DFID in 2015 with all these documents. And this is the USB that I have. This is the USB. And the USB, it has people's money and wrongdoings. That's the topic I have there. So I spoke to DFID, went in the office, spoke to the governor, spoke to DFID. We had meeting for a couple of days back and forth. So they asked me what I intend to do. I told them straight up, if they gave them any more money to run this company, I'm going to send all these documents to 10 Downing Street, and I'm going to contact the British media. I think it's The Guardian. And it would be bad publicity for the British government. We went inside the office there, and then after a few negotiations, they told me they needed copies of the computer. So I told them I already have a flash drive. So I gave them the flash drive, and they promised me they would speak to Donaldson Romeo. Now, I remember when we had our last meeting, PDM was in power. So we had, in 15 minutes' time, we were supposed to break for the ministers to come in and have a meeting with them. So then I told them I did the extra 5 minutes. After the 5 minutes, I came out. And I remember Claude Hogan shouted me and Paul Lewis. So then I left. And then about a day after, somebody called me and told me that the DFID called Dan Romeo and told him that there will be no more funds going out to PIU and they're going to have to close down. I remember before going to PIU, I told Owen Lewis and I told Pop Joe Gilmore, I went to the office and I told him I was going to close down this department. And I remember they told me, you know, I'm just talking. And I said, okay. So what I did, I took the documents to the governor's office, got the matter solved, and then eventually they called Dan Romney and told him that PI would have to close. They would be not giving them any more monies. So I want to get the matter straight. Mr. Clarence Graves, Dan Romney did not close down PIU. So you all know it is I who closed down PIU. And Ruben Timmy was aware of that matter. All of them know it was I who closed down PIU. You notice when they come at the year, right, what they usually do? They will talk about who closed down MDC, who closed down hospital. You never hear them one time say who closed down PIU because they never wanted the public to know. It was I who went inside the governor's office and told them if they do not close it down, I'm going to send these documents here. And you see, I'm going to show you again. I have the documents to prove it. See, I have all the documents to prove it. So that matter is now laid to rest. Next now. Last week I was here, I spoke of the sand-minded, right? No. A lot of people have agreed with me. Let me just give you a little briefing on from the McMurtry report, McDonald report, 2017-18. And it said sand mining. Sand mining contributed an estimated $2.4 million to Montserrat GDP in 2016. In 2016, it also generated some $7 million of export. So what they're saying, they exported $7 million of sand. Government got $2.4 million. Out of the 7 million, government got 2.4 million. So that means the sand miners got 4.6 million. You see the difference, you know? The sand miners got $4.6 million and the government got 2.4 million. I keep asking myself, how does government function? You see why we know all this kind of problem with short, don't have no money to pay teachers, don't have the money to give civil servants raise? Because here you are again, having the sand miners enriching themselves. They call it the private sector. I call it the multi-million-dollar sector because the evidence is there. I didn't write to see the document here from the consultants that Mr. Romeo asked to build a business case. They're talking about the sand mining here, the amount of monies they made in 2016. And let me show you something. It goes on also to say, views on sand mining industry. He says, other opportunities include to add value by exporting products created using the sand rather than continuing to export raw materials at a relatively low price. So what they're saying here, right? There's competition out there with the sand miners. I remember when Celsi started, he started selling 1 ton of whether aggregate or sand for about $18. Now, from my understanding, they have it down below less than $10. In that area between $10 and $8. So what happens over there now? Due to the fact that they're getting the sand free, they don't really care. I'm selling for 10, I need a quicker sale, I drop it down to 8. So here it is, we have these sand miners out there exploiting our natural resources, competing, and all of them, I could tell you right now, each of these guys have millions, who don't have millions have millions. Each of them is over $1 million. And the ones who are there from since you know the sand mining going on, you can't touch them, as they are saying. Now, when you look at, I'm going to repeat again, when you look at Wall started when he was young, and he was doing this back in town. We are over here 28 years, and you're telling me these people still doing mining for 28 years, them and Eddie Buffon truckings. This has to be stopped. I told them already, you know, I'm going to give them 60 days, finish up what they have, and they're going to have to come back to the table, and we're going to set a proper policy for them. You have the equipment, you will now be working for the government of Montserrat. You cannot bring in you cannot export $7 million in sand, and the government gets $2.4 million. And these are the people that you are voting for to put in office. Look at them. They have these documents from the UK, and they don't even understand. The UK consultants are telling you, this is what you have to do. You want them to come and open your mouth and go down inside you and tell you exactly what to do. The evidence is there. You don't need nobody to come and show you this. It's simple but for me. I can't understand why is it that these people, they have demanded exploiting Montserrat natural resources. And it, just look at it. It goes from the father to the son, children. It's just going on and on. So it's a family business. Let me tell you something. I told them before, right? I'm giving them 60 days to close. I'm dead serious. Last week was 60. Today is Tuesday, so they have 52 more days right now as I speak. They have 52 more days to get themselves in order. Because come election day, and I'm elected, which I hope to be, I am closing down the sand industry for the betterment of the building of Montserrat. Like I said, I'm going to say it again, teachers, the caretakers for the hospital, the nurses, and the cleaners, those persons are the first person I tell you supposed to get a raise above, when I say above everybody else. Especially the caretakers. The caretakers are dealing with the elderly 24/7. A nurse will deal with you accordingly, but the caretakers, they have these people 24/7 looking after them. And it's hard to look after these people because, when they reach a certain age. Like I told you already, I've seen it happen. I've seen these people being dumped with feces, vomit, everything, and they can't do nothing. And they're going home with under $2,000 a month. Look at the sand mining. The sand mining could contribute to everybody in Monza, even the persons who are cleaning the homes around. They should get an increase. At least call them in and give them some kind of increment, give them something. Everybody's supposed to be living comfortable. You have 5 guys in Monza living. And look how they're living. They're living large in Monza. I will not stand by as a local and have this thing taking place anymore. And let me say this. Whenever you see, I call them in, we call them in, they will come in, and you have one choice, not two, one. It's either you work with the government, well, I will say to you, work with the government, or you pack up and leave, and we will bring in our equipment and have managed this ourselves. But I could tell you this, every one of them will prefer to work with the government than to have the equipment steadier and go to nothing. Imagine, you could imagine a man is out of Monza for more than 15 years and the man is collecting royalties, collecting monies, just monies after monies, and he's not living here because of the way it was structured. I'm telling you, boy, this needs to be addressed. Urgent. Urgent. This is a matter of urgent necessity, and this matter has to be addressed immediately. Now, I am saying that this matter has to be addressed, and what is addressed, we will know how to deal with it from that. Now, I'm going to go on. There's a lady, the same young lady at the Her Majesty's prison, right? I've looked at all the politicians come to the radio station, and I'm the only individual that came up with this. And I'm saying, you are telling me that you are elected members of government, and some of you were elected before, and you all can put together a march of civil servants, everybody going to march to the government and let her understand that this is a matter of life.